Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and it's another day in Corona world. How you guys doing?
That was nice. That was a nice good morning. That got me right in me undies, you know what I mean?
Good.
Right in the me undies.
It's getting tighter. If society was a vagina, Corona's making it just tighter and tighter every day.
Ooh.
Just locking us down.
Yeah,
One way of looking at it.
Too bad it's not like getting more pleasurable by the day.
No.
At least I don't think for most people it is. At least. Yeah. Anyways, we've got a ton of good information to go over for you, mostly Corona related because that's the whole world right now. The order is going to be Pat, myself, Mark, and then Wes. So Pat, get us going, sir.
All right, guys. Shelter-in-place orders are flying out of state and county governments as rapidly as $40 bets from my stack on Internet Blackjack, which, if you know me, is not good.
No, you do that. That's a late night Cassidy
That's a
special.
fast track to an empty account.
Oh, man, I'll go up 10, 15,000. I'll go up enough money to put a down payment on a house, and then I'm gone in the morning. It's bad. But these are good, theoretically, maybe. Anyway, California was the first state to put out a shelter-in-place order last Thursday, followed by New York on Friday, and most states are following suit. So what exactly does a shelter-in-place mean, or what does shelter-in-place mean, and what's changed from, you guys being told to not leave your houses? Well, according to Yale's emergency management plan, Yale University, shelter-in-place means finding a safe location indoors and staying there until you're given an all clear or told to evacuate. And you may be asked to shelter in place because of an active shooter situation, a tornado, chemical or radiological or other hazard. And in regards to Yale,
a pandemic.
Exactly. In Yale, this order is traditionally given after they lose to Harvard in sports or when a Brooks Brothers store closes. But again, guys, these were written before COVID-19 took over everything. Anyway, guys, local and state officials are expanding the definition of shelter in place to help slow the spread of COVID. So essentially, guys, it's an official order from the government to do what most respectful folks have already been doing, mandating residents to stay in their homes, limit travel to essential trips. And the orders are officially closing non-essential businesses. So kind of before it was like, hey, these are a recommendation. Now there's some consequences. That's what the shelter in place.
What are the consequences, though?
Well, I'm going to go through them per state or kind of highlight some of them.
Okay.
But before I get into that, the 10,000-foot view, guys, here is that there are slight differences in each instance of a shelter-in-place order. For example, as I said, California gave one, New York gave one. Not all states are doing it, and a lot of counties are getting ahead of it. Like Dallas, for example, issued one, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago, whereas Travis County, where the three of us are here in Texas, issued one just Monday. So
Tuesday morning.
Exactly, yeah. So the differences, guys, are specifically related to like what is considered an essential trip or business. And whether residents can go outside and under what circumstances and how large gatherings can be. One common thread in all of the orders is to say, at least 6 feet away from each other or socially distanced. And that the other common thread or common denominator is that these orders will extend until at least April 3rd. That is the earliest predicted release of the
What's that neighborhood watch thing? Is that what it's called? The neighborhood app you can get on?
Nextdoor?
Nextdoor. Yeah, like 12 of my neighbors were outside, not 6 feet apart, just yucking it up with their kids.
Oh, yeah. That's a bad idea. The neighborhoods, been doing a lot of dog walking since lockdown. And yes, the neighborhood conversators, they talk way too close.
Did you see that
ridiculous
parade I posted on Twitter? Literally a fucking...
Was it in my neighborhood? Was that what it was?
No, it was a birthday parade. Kids were in the back of a truck, and everyone's outside.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I kind of thought that was sweet. But
It was
on that note, Mark, Nextdoor is a hilarious app. And if you're not using it, get on it now. Because if you want to see what people with no time on their hands, and this is normal, this is non-corona, do, get on Nextdoor. This is like, there's like lots of great latent racism that comes out. You can judge your neighbors on.
I'm going to have to blog myself giving shit to the neighbors for not
I actually really, before Nextdoor put in place the fact that you could really only have one and they would verify that you could only have one Nextdoor account, I wanted to go into different neighborhoods digitally and troll people on Nextdoor.
Yeah, they're good. They're good about locking people out. I'm about to log on to my Nextdoor app for the very first time just to complain about the close talkers during coronavirus.
Oh,
There you
well,
go.
it's
See,
such a delight.
Well, let's blog about that. Let's take it out on the close talkers.
So
Well,
I
they
want
need
to
to watch out. Close talkers have got to chill. Like
They really do, and they don't-
seriously
but-
during coronavirus. If you're a close talker, stop. Just try to stop pulling people in to engage in a close conversation.
You're not
Well,
going to
Will,
stop
the
them.
thing is, they don't know any better. That's the truth. If they knew that they were close talkers and that people didn't appreciate it, they wouldn't do it. So I think you're dead on.
The people in my neighborhood absolutely will not stop based off of the one thing I saw. They'll never stop.
Yeah,
Well,
in times
guys-
of urgency, they just get closer. They're like,
It's just a lot of fun. I remember maybe a year ago, I logged on Nextdoor to see what was going on, and I saw that a woman had posted. This is Girl Scout cookie season. She posted, "Hey, does anyone have Girl Scout cookies? That I really want to buy some." And I'm assuming a father of a Girl Scout, a motivated one who wanted his daughter to do well in the fundraising activities that are Girl Scout cookies, responded back quickly and said, "Yeah, absolutely. What's your address? I will bring over the cookies." And I took that opportunity to mess with them a little bit. And the guy's name was Jared, so I responded to Jared's post and I said, "Don't buy from Jared. His prices are way too high. I'll beat any of his prices." And that really upset Jared. And that's kind of the fun that you can have with Nextdoor.
all right.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, next door, mostly from what I've seen in my neighborhoods, it's just people getting inordinately upset about stupid things, sort of like me screaming about the close talkers. Like there's like inevitably there's some kind of drama. There's dogs that are out of control, and then everybody weighs in and gives their asinine and over-the-top opinion about dogs. that are out
Yeah,
of control.
that, and if a car is broken into within a 10-mile square radius, you're going to know about it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're going to know, again, as I said, whether they're racist or not. It's a great barometer to tell if your neighbors are racist in the way that they describe the break-ins. But then again, guys, one of the reasons we chose to donate to Meals on Wheels is I got on my Nextdoor app and I saw that one of the biggest requests, one of the biggest asks from neighbors was old people saying, "Hey, I need food, help me out." So check that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, April 3rd, the soonest that this shelter in place is going to be lifted. In some cases, it's April 14th, so that's the soonest it might get back to normal. Here are some of the highlights of each of the state's orders, and we'll get into the penalties in these two. So New York specifically said people who are 70 or older or are immunocompromised are not permitted to visit households with multiple people and must wear a mask when in the company of others. And again,
That's
guys,
easy to enforce. Yeah.
right, yeah,
Good
yeah.
law there.
Ohio
Must
says
wear a mask.
right. Well, it's great. And
Nice
does it
one, New
run-
York. You're still doing great.
Yeah, where the hell are they going to get them?
You can't get them to wear hearing aids. You're not going to get them to wear masks.
No,
That's true.
Where you have to wait until 3M sends you a mask, and then you can go.
Right, and keep in mind, guys, that old people, we've covered this story before, but sexually transmitted diseases have been shooting through the roof at assisted living facilities and nursing homes because they don't give a shit about protection. So I don't know how we're going to
You
get them to
keep
wear masks.
claiming you can't get through sex, Pat.
Well, this is a whole different thing, guys. Ohio, daycares will not be able to operate whatsoever unless they obtain a special pandemic license, which even if they did, would you want to send your
Really?
kid to the daycare with a
That
pandemic
sounds
Well, yeah, I
that sounds easy to obtain.
Yeah, might take a while.
I would have thought daycares would have already been shut down a little while back.
Yeah, well, I think it's a
schools
tough call.
Schools have been out most places. Yeah, daycare, true, because for people who have not are working in essential services. But,
It's kind of tough to obtain the license because no one's allowed to go and inspect your daycare until the shelter in place is lifted.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's kind of like, you're not going to get that.
a lot of these things. Basically, it's just all the guidelines that existed before, except now the cops can arrest you if you're breaking them.
Exactly. Now you have to do it. And on that note, and by the way, guys, our home state of Virginia, schools are canceled through the academic year. So like,
Holy shit.
what
really?
what a year to be in high school.
That's
Oregon,
pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
violators of the order can be charged with a Class C misdemeanor for endangering public health and fined up to $12.50 or jailed for 30 days. In California, violations can result in a misdemeanor with up to 6 months in prison or $1,000.
So what do they do? They just like take your check they send you away? They're like, give us back the check.
Exactly. They just intercept your check like an
Right?
asshole.
Yeah.
I would love to meet the people that get locked up for habitually breaking this law.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, there's gonna be some. I mean, like those fucking.
stay home.
By the way, how pissed is
Super
that?
social.
How pissed is that spring breaker kid that the local news used his name? Like you don't see that often when the local news is interviewing you. They usually don't have your name down there, but that kid God knows
he
where
was
is.
so unique looking. I mean, his identity would have been known immediately.
Yeah, was the rosacea from booze or was it genetic? Who knew?
or Corona, something like that?
Sun.
I don't know. Yeah.
Could have been. So Wisconsin
And the
governor
black
guys,
eye from someone that had clearly punched him earlier in the day.
I also love that. Like
How many
that,
times did he get punched in the face that trip?
I went to enough spring breaks to know that guy wasn't getting laid, whether he was in Florida or not. Like that guy could have just stayed home. Can we get a hotter guy who's saying I don't care?
I don't
if
know.
I,
I mean,
get corona or
spring
not?
break. I mean, anything goes. I feel like
Pat, you
I
just
feel like
have
a lot
high
of people
standards.
get laid
Yeah,
on
you have high
spring break.
standards. He was slapping threes ass cheeks
You think?
after getting in fist fights till at like 2 a.m. Yeah, for sure.
He was doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing fine.
Guys, Wisconsin.
you don't got to be working with much down there.
Yeah.
I've been
guess
to
you're
Panama
right.
City. It's
Been a while. I mean, PFT and I went.
Pat's pretending to be in the CIA and hitting on nines. He doesn't get it.
PFT and I went to Panama City one year. I don't think you guys came that year, and it was like no one was getting laid. Or him and I were not getting laid. We were definitely not hot enough with our shirts off. So I don't know, but maybe we were swinging too high for the fences. Wisconsin Governor Tony Everts got specific, saying, "quote No sleepovers, no play dates, no dinner parties with friends and neighbors."
What the fuck are the kids going to do during WrestleMania weekend?
I don't know. Was WrestleMania? It's still coming up, or did it happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen in early April.
You know, for only children, this is terrible. Hopefully they're getting sheltered in place at their friends' houses, because if you're an only child and you're just locked up for
sleepovers were the
months,
shit, man. Yeah, hanging out with this is terrible.
you're not
Man.
happy.
A lot of people getting dogs and cats and shit right about now.
That's true, but that's good. Go foster a dog or a cat. That's good.
And guys, in Hawaii, this is probably the most stringent fine. People are prohibited from visiting Waikiki Beach. Those found on the shoreline will face a fine of up to $5,000. That's 5 stimulus checks, and up to a year in jail. So those are some of the more interesting shelter-in-place deals. Keep an eye out. My guess is in the next 2 days, every state will have one in place. It was some local municipalities in the cases where the states hadn't gone for it yet. But the big question we're getting here on Hard Factor is, what about liquor stores and dispensaries? And Will is going to get into this a little bit later on, after me here, actually. But the first state to legalize marijuana in our country had a bit of a snafu on Monday. So Denver mayor had to make a bit of a course correction on Monday evening after initially listing liquor stores and dispensaries as non-essential businesses, which created absolute fucking havoc as the freewheeling people of Denver mobbed spirits establishments and weed shops, with some stores reporting lines forming a block long just minutes after the mayor's initial press conference.
That could lead to violence.
Yeah. Well, people are pissed because there's no way you could social distance. I mean, people were like shoulder to shoulder in these fucking lines for weed and liquor.
Yeah.
So he probably got a bunch of people to contract corona with this.
Right. Well,
idiocy.
Denver already had a pretty big footprint of corona.
Yeah.
So
That's
Everyone
essentially
rushed to the liquor and weed store. All of you people that like
nice
to be
job.
social.
Yeah, nice job, Mayor of Denver. How did nobody else in all these states that I'm about to talk about later in the show, nobody else made that mistake but the Mayor of Denver? Nice.
That's
going.
like the Hawaii missile launch text.
yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
That's terrible.
yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy, guys. Anyway, I'll take it to the internet in just 1 second. But Argonaut Wine and Liquor co-owner Josh Robinson told the Denver Post that his staff had to act like, quote, bouncers, allowing one shopper in for each person that left.
Liquor stores. That's the real pandemonium.
That was bad.
People
No,
freak
they were
out.
doing that. They were doing that at HEB the other day. I drove by and they were doing the bouncer thing, like a nightclub, one in, one out.
Not trying to crowd the store up. That's
Yeah,
smart, though.
yeah.
Anyway, the mayor changed his tune via Twitter to chill the people out. Taken to the internet real quick, J.K. Claro says, "Don't be a dumbass. Close liquor and pot stores, and people will now drive further than normal to find a store that's open." And then Hank Vandenberg says, "And they'll all cozy up shoulder to shoulder in the one store that's open. This is brilliant."
Yeah. No. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the commenters have points. Like that
Yeah.
was poorly done by the city of Denver. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk before we get into the regulations on marijuana. Let's talk about dollars, coronavirus dollars, and I've got some great news to start this story off. Tax day is officially now July 15th, not April 15th. So that's
Love that.
91 extra days to keep your money out of Uncle Sam's sweaty palms And good news for people like me who are scared shitless because they owe more than they have. You can just re-shit your pants in July, and you don't have to worry about.
Well, can I make a prediction?
Huh?
Taxes are going to be canceled, so don't file them until you have to, guys. I think taxes will be canceled this year.
You think they'll be canceled?
That's what I just said.
Wow. Well, I hope. I mean, I
like that.
Selfishly, I hope you're right. Yeah. For the economy, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, you don't got to pay them until July 15th, so 3 months more than you normally had. All right. The stimulus package that we talked about yesterday, it's undergoing a game of partisan badminton right now where the Dems are saying McConnell is killing the elderly and lining his buddies' pockets with his corporate favoritism. And then the Republicans are saying that Pelosi is doing the exact same thing while taking her time and being a showboat. And somehow they're all correct all at the same time. So it's just another day in America. Nothing to see here. And what's really going on behind the scenes is McConnell and Pelosi are competing in a procedural back and forth between the House and the Senate, while Secretary of the Treasury Mnuchin and Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer are hopefully hammering out a deal, burning the midnight oil Monday night, however long it takes. And will the deal be struck on Tuesday, today, tomorrow, on Wednesday? We don't know, but it's going to be coming soon. This is really just the swamp in action. So.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when Pelosi and McConnell just have a back and forth jousting match during a pandemic. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's fun
good,
for everybody,
good for
right?
everyone.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great stuff that the Congress is doing there. It's good.
Yep. I mean, it's crazy because I feel like there's a lot of messaging that needs to be better explained that's not being explained. Like these people suck at fucking messaging. Like Pelosi and Schumer have their own reasons for holding up this bill. The Republicans
Pelosi today, I mean, she presented her own bill and then also requested that Trump cancel his lawsuit on the Affordable Care Act. Like, that's going to happen. I mean, basically both parties aren't in a rush to get this through. Yeah. They're more kind of concerned about getting their way in the package. So
I wouldn't be too concerned about the long-lasting impacts of the economy when unemployment's about to go to 30%. You're going to have mass looting and murder and all sorts of bullshit going on if you don't send the fucking checks out. So send the fucking checks.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Send the checks out for sure. I think what they're hoping is that maybe that shelter in place and the more aggressive measures that have been taken in America comparatively to some other places in the world who are hit hard may slow the spread, and maybe they have time. But you don't know. I mean, we could be looking at escalating numbers really quickly here.
Well, Will, on that point, a rep from the CDC today addressed the 70% of you will get this statistic that came out.
Yeah, I saw 50.
That's a worst case.
Yeah, that's worst case. I saw 50% globally. I think 50% is a fair number in most geographical locations.
My main point is they're talking about that's without people doing measures like shelter in place, and that's after the next wave of it, after it dies down in the summer and comes back in the fall.
Yeah, but it's like great. It's great they're sending it, but it's like a fucking Band-Aid on a bullet hole. I mean, it's not enough. And like what Mark was saying, people are sitting there idly watching their business go down the fucking tubes. There's going to be unrest very soon.
Yes.
And watching these people bicker, to Mark's point as well, it's not really like helping out, right? Like, I mean, we already have enough reasons that we bicker with one another, and then getting these talking points passed down from the party leadership right now, and then having everybody squawking them back and forth on CNN and Fox and all the fucking message boards. It's just really, I mean, it's I don't know why it's happening during a pandemic, but if
people need to come together and knock it the fuck off.
Well, do we know? Does anyone know how
Stop
long
with the politics.
we have until the supply chain is fucked? Right, because it's like there's a lag time, right? Like where it's like when factories start shutting down. Like a lot of business.
It already is.
Digitally.
I mean, we're already out of pretty much all the really, really vital supplies to deal with the disease, and all the factories are shifting their manufacturing to try to accommodate restocking. And so
if you need toilet paper in Austin, Texas, DM me. I will gladly leave it outside for you. I got you.
He's got a stockpile. Yeah.
For fucking free.
So Mark, like the government, is trying to help people out eventually whenever they get this shit sorted. So this is
socialism,
phase 3.
Mark. I don't like it.
This is phase 3. He's sharing. That's a barter system. That's an original OG capitalism.
Well, it's Mark taking a government position and then hugging you with toilet paper, proverbially.
So this is phase 3 of the economic recovery package of 3 bills, and it's the biggest part. At least $2 trillion will be decided in this funding bill, and once it's known, we'll know basically, who's eligible for what kind of benefits people are getting for on top of unemployment and all that stuff, what kind of mortgage forgiveness, rental forgiveness, all the stuff. Maybe taxes are more forgiven than they were.
They gone,
previously.
baby. Don't file them. If you're not expecting a return, don't file those fucking taxes because they're going to be forgiven.
So we won't know exactly how much, but this is the third phase.
Obviously, your paychecks get taxes taken out, but I'm
They
talking
better
about
send them back then if that's the fucking case.
Yeah, you filing your taxes is essentially like telling the teacher that they forgot to assign homework.
Yeah,
So
don't do it. One of my friends did it in a group text with a bunch of finance guys, and they were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Filing your taxes already, you idiot!" And
I
a
already
lot
did
of them,
mine.
The IRS,
a lot of them work for very high level New York
of
banks
course.
and stuff, and they said we think the taxes are not going to happen.
That's amazing that they think that. If
They're geniuses.
but the thing about
Well,
it is
they're
the
rich.
IRS.
We know that.
The IRS
They're
is,
geniuses with finance.
the IRS is encouraging people to file already because they're like, oh, well, you want to get it in. The only reason they do that is because they want the money in the hands of the government. So
Right.
You want to embrace the malaise. That's what you want to do. You just want to lean into the malaise here.
Good
and
advice.
not do stuff. You do want to do stuff to keep the economy going,
Well-
but not stuff like taxes.
And here's a way to feel really good about delaying everything because Congress is delaying everything. So you can't be worse than Pelosi and McConnell.
Yeah.
Don't
drive the fucking funds in. Here, I drove it up to you. Take.
Let me ask you guys a serious question.
I already
Would
filed.
you guys watch?
You already
a Pelosi,
No wonder Wes is. Yeah. Whoops.
Would you guys watch a Pelosi McConnell sex tape? Honestly,
Yeah,
Of course.
Of course.
What are you?
I
what are
mean,
you
you'd
kidding?
watch it out of curiosity. I don't think
I'd watch
people
it
aren't
multiple
rubbing it
times.
out.
Yeah. Yeah.
would you watch it
No,
to completion?
No.
I mean,
I'd skip
it's part of
around.
it's part of our job, I think.
All the way through.
Yeah. Would you not?
Is there an animator out there that might be able to create?
Well, I
some
don't know. I don't
content?
want to watch anime.
That
version.
sounds like
Yeah.
a lawsuit.
No.
It could be deep fakes, man. I don't know. They're getting pretty good these days.
All right, Mark, take us to the next one.
All right, guys, I don't mean to get all doom and gloom on you, but our charity partner Meals on Wheels needs help. Meals on Wheels president and CEO Ellie Hollander explained recently in an interview that they should be considered an essential service during the coronavirus outbreak, and what they need from the government is to continue servicing the elderly in the community is for them to be declared like a essential service and business for all the states. So Ellie is concerned that vulnerable seniors that need Meals on Wheels services will be in dire straits if Meals on Wheels is not considered an essential service. And she basically laid out 3 areas they need help for: resources, information, and funding. You can help with 2, maybe 3 of those areas just by buying our Lockdown Turn Up shirt. 100% of the proceeds are going to Meals on Wheels COVID-19 charity donation program. We aren't making a single penny on this, and we don't want to. We just want to help get some meals out to what Hollander describes as greatly increased demand. They were already on waiting lists. The Meals on Wheels people were already on waiting lists before the pandemic, and now the demand is even higher. So every little bit helps, and helps get people that need food delivered to them. So don't kill old people, guys.
It's an amazing turnkey service that's just going to be ultimately more necessary than it was, and they need to fucking grow. They need to grow.
Well, it sounds like they need money to pay influential people in government to be able to get the status that they require.
Yeah, she wants some bailout money, like the airlines, basically. She wants money, right? Buy a Lockdown Turn Up t-shirt today. The links are in the social bios, and you can also just go to barstoolsports.com and go to the merchandise page and find them there. If we don't see an increase in numbers soon, we're going to start filming Sarah McLachlan-style SPCA commercials with malnourished elderly people dying and stuff, and with the sad music in the background. Don't make us do that.
Who's going to find those people? Because I don't know.
No, I was going to say, Mark and I discussed this before the show. So we don't want to
neighborhood
have to
app.
do that, but we need to get ahead of it because that's how content works. So if you guys want to email at Hard Factor News, we don't want to have to film these, but if you know anyone that would want to be in these videos, if we do have to do it, let's get ahead of it. That was just a quick aside.
75 and older. The elderly are not the only people that are not getting fed, guys. No, you see, this fucking ruthless, invisible coronavirus ruined the 19th annual Testicle Festival in Deerfield, Michigan. Yeah, over 330 pounds of frozen bull testicles just sat in a freezer and didn't get cooked at the annual event that draws in a few thousand people from all over the country that love to eat testicles. Shame. So, yeah.
You know the worst part about that is all the T-shirts that didn't get bought and all the laughs that will be missed out on because of that.
I ate bull testicles.
Oh my God! Think about
you didn't.
The joy that those shirts bring into the world, and
anytime you talk about eating testicles in general, people just love it.
It's a yuck,
especially when it's
a
on a
yuck
shirt.
fest.
2,000 people that come to this thing to just gobble down testicles. But good news, guys, they didn't cancel it. They postponed it till May 9th. Bad news, guys, they rescheduled it for May 9th, so they're going to have to postpone it again.
Yeah, I wish they would just move it online to Pornhub. Just move it to Pornhub.
May 9th is a bit ambitious, but
I don't know. Have you been to a calf fry? It's a very unsexual environment. Well,
everything is sexual.
What does that? What does that mean?
I mean, it's just like, well, it's a barbecue. I guess if you consider like a barbecue, like it's just it's I don't know. It smells like a. Smells like like you're at a carnival or something. Like they're making funnel cakes.
It's like a bunch of people drinking beer and eating testicles. I'm sure there's some fucking going on.
Yeah, if you make too many like corny jokes, you get slapped in the face.
You're just like out in the open, like though, because like you're full. You're probably not. Probably not. Like everybody's full. You eat a lot of testicles.
Yeah. Wes, did you go to a different testicle festival than I did? There's no amount of corny jokes that would get you slapped in the face.
Well, I'm just thinking of like how maybe manly it is, and maybe like if you went there, you might get slapped because I could see you loving the corny testicle jokes nonstop. And then some. Yeah.
That's the case for a lot of places for me.
Let's bring Pat to Sturgis.
Yeah.
There's some people. Yeah, there's some people who are like who are like enough with the ball jokes already, pal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it over to some world news, guys. Little international corona update. See how this bastard is affecting the rest of the world. So first, as of the time of this recording, worldwide, almost 380,000 cases. Worldwide, almost 17,000 deaths. Recovered, almost 102,000. And active cases, 5% of them are in critical or serious condition. So 95 mild cases, 5% still way too high. Fuck, 1% is way too high. Let's start with some good news. Italy, which has been slaughtered by this fucking thing, saw the first back-to-back days where new cases have dropped. New cases were down almost.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. New cases were down almost 1,000 from Sunday to Monday, and deaths were down 50. So good news for the country where 64,000 people have contracted the disease, the virus, and over 6,000 people have died, which is almost twice that of China now, which has the second amount of deaths. So Italy is just...
Yeah.
Was that video with the Italian mayor's fake? Like the dubbing of what they were saying? Was that?
I don't know. I hope it was real.
That was fucking hilarious.
That was awesome. I don't see why it wouldn't be real. I mean, maybe it was.
Well, I mean, because none of us speak Italian, so
Yeah.
I mean that's how we don't know.
Actually, you know what's funny? My wife had a great idea. She's doing Rosetta Stone during the lockdown. She's trying to learn Italian.
Yeah,
That's
learn
turning
Italian.
up. That's one way to
that's
turn the fuck
definitely
up.
turning up.
Learn a new language.
But yeah, the video was like 4 different Italian mayors talking shit to the public, calling them fucking idiots for being outside,
it was amazing.
threatening to like attack them if they saw them and stuff.
Right. In the UK, Boris Johnson is putting everything on lockdown after cases soared close to 7,000 and deaths there climbed to 335, likely more now. So he's canceling all the fun shit like weddings, birthdays, and even baptisms. Funerals may continue, so much like the shelter-in-place laws that are being enacted in here that Pat talked about. It's what it pretty much looks like, over there. So only necessary outings are allowed: grocery, pharmacy, exercise, food.
Yeah, he turned the page pretty quick because just a couple weeks ago he was like, I'm not stopping events because we think that the peak's going to be in April and May, and we can't keep our rowdy citizens indoors for 3 months. So we're going to wait till the first wave's over, then we'll do the shelter in place.
Underestimated the spread. Yeah.
Well, I imagine that a lot of these leaders get like some interesting conversations from like scientists and doctors that are like, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm confused though. Like a baptism is the only time a baby really ever washes their hands. What? Like it seems like you
Yeah,
keep those
because no one wet wipes their hands 25 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the I think the funeral thing is interesting because that he's leaving that open. I guess he's anticipating that the spread won't be bad enough where they need to prohibit people from going to funerals.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't have they had a lot less cases.
Yeah, so
than
far
us.
looks like they've got a lot fewer cases.
I mean, Pat, hopefully a baptism is the absolute weakest bath that a baby ever gets. If it's going to be
Sometimes they dunk those motherfuckers.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like
I had to
shake
keep
them
I had to
out.
keep my fingers crossed behind my back when my godson got baptized this summer because the priest looked me directly in the eye and was like, "Do you reject Satan?" And I was like, "Yep, fingers crossed." I think I said probably.
Probably.
forget
Yeah.
All right. So this lockdown is going to go on for at least 3 weeks, and then Boris will look at how things are going and then, reevaluate. To Japan, where Dick Pound, the veteran member of the International Olympic Committee and probably one hell of a great lay, told USA Today that the Olympics will certainly be postponed. And Japan's prime minister has admitted that he does not think the world will be ready by July, which is when the games were supposed to kick off. Not sure what gave that away, but the PM over there is very smart. Speaking to USA Today, Dick Pound said, or DP if you want to call him that, said, quote, "The parameters going forward have not been determined, but the games are not going to start on July 24th. That much I know. And if we can trust anyone when it comes to parameters and thrusting forward, it's Dick Pound."
That's right.
Yeah.
His name's bad both directions because if it's pound, dick, still bad.
Yeah. So let's look
Well, it depends what you're into, Mark. Really.
Yeah, it's still bad.
Yeah. It's looking like a full year delay, so 2021 Olympics. Hopefully they'll go back to even numbers in 2024. So but this comes after basically the whole world was just saying, like, fuck you, Japan, you assholes. We ain't coming like Canada and Australia did. So they really had no choice. In Russia, where thank God they have less than 500 cases and only one person has died, allegedly. So who the fuck knows? Could be millions over there.
That's amazing for a country that shares that big of a border.
I'm not buying it.
It is also perpetually winter.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe the weather's too rough there for the virus. Because they typically spread in more temperate areas. I think the viruses thrive in like a 40 to 65 range. Something.
They're also a tough people, the Russians. They've had it tough over the years. Maybe they're resistant somehow.
I hope Dick Pound's middle name starts with a S, so it's just a pluralized. It's Dick's Pound.
Let's see. So what they're doing over there is this month, Russia's Perm Opera and Ballet Theater is going to stream its performances online and allow only one person in the theater at a time. I'm not sure how you can enjoy a performance being the only person in a theater in Russia.
Well, you also have to be a millionaire, right?
Oh God. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, how do you fall asleep? They catch you. You know what I mean?
Well,
You got to
no,
pay attention.
you would jerk off. Is the
You
truth?
think so?
Yeah, 100%. If you're in a big ass theater and there's a ballet being performed for just you, that's pretty sexual. It's going to be hard to not sport wood and take care of yourself in my
You
purse.
think they'll just allow you to jerk off?
I think
They're not-
somebody would
no.
yell at you for sure.
Who's going to yell at you?
They
They're
can't
not
get
gonna
within
stop the
6
show.
feet of you. Yeah,
They can't. They won't be able to see either. Will they'll just think you're really enjoying the show?
I would have high anxiety thinking.
Seems
I'm
like a
gonna get
lot
shot.
of work to put on a show for one person.
Yeah, it's got to be a setup, right? So that's what they are offering. They're calling it one-on-one. Very creative over there in Russia these days. In Colombia, where cases are starting to rise quickly, almost 300 there now. Even the prisoners are getting panicked, which is why they started a riot in a prison at Bogota's La Modelo prison, one of the worst prisons in the country and likely the world, overpopulated and dangerous. The prisoners staged a massive escape attempt, like they do at least once a month, likely. But this time it had more umph and fear behind it, as nobody wanted to be locked in a prison with coronavirus spreading. The riot caused 23 deaths and over 80 injuries, and prisons all over the country are seeing similar revolts. Justice Minister Margarita Cabello said nobody escaped the prison during the riots, probably because they were shot by snipers while climbing the last fence. The U.S.
Right.
Yeah, this only supports your theory about potentially Weinstein wanting to get into solitary before the riots start.
Yeah,
in prisons.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
doesn't have
it is tough for the fucking prisoners, man. I mean,
Of course.
Yeah.
It's in Iran they were having to just let them out.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice of you to to think that, but again, I'm pretty sure it was an unlubed baton just covered in Corona that was shoved up his asshole.
Yeah, probably.
It was lubed, Mark.
Yeah, was it? I don't know.
Not with factory lube. It was
Okay,
human.
yeah.
The lube was...
So the U.S., Spain, Germany, and Iran and France round out the top 7 for countries worst hit by this fucking thing. So best thing to do, just shelter in place and hope the herd immunity is everything the experts are saying it is.
Yeah. Watch us play Monopoly.
Yeah, that's right. I'll get to that later, too.
All right.
Hey, you guys may have heard of MeUndies before. They're pretty much in every podcast ever, which I know that you don't listen to because you're loyal to us, so take my word for it. But besides that, MeUndies makes the world's most soft and sustainable underwear. They're literally design their undies for comfort and self-expression. So whether you opt for a solid black, which is what I rock, or a unicorn print, which is what Hard Factor Mark rocks, you'll do it as comfortably as a cuddly kitten. Anyway, guys, these things are legit.
And it makes you look like you have elephantitis of the crotch.
It really does, man. It looks like
giganticism.
A bee stung you right there, right in the right place. A family of bees, really. These things are legit. They're the last underwear brand you will need to try. They're better than the competition. You know who I'm talking about. They'll last longer, and you'll feel good in them. Why live your life with certain pairs of underwear you dread in your drawer when all of your underwear could make you feel like a sex machine, even if your machine has no actual output, like me? But you guys can choose from a monthly membership, build a pack, or you can even match your undies with your other half. You're talking about your lady or your man. No matter what you choose, you'll get a soft, sustainable pair of underwear delivered straight to your door with free shipping. Those are win-wins, y'all. As I said, these guys are made of sustainable fabric, and here's the thing. They go from extra small to 4XL for the big boys. So even the big boys can look good. And I think Hard Factor Will and I can be really proud that even though that we've gotten fat over the years, our underwear size has remained like a large. But some guys
got small butts.
Well, yeah, I don't have a small butt. I'm so jealous of Hard Factor Will's small butt that
I've been the same size since I was like 12. So I've been rocking the XL, the L/XL since
the 36,
elementary
38
school, I think. Yeah.
I think these things are made out of the same material that the funny mirrors and the horror houses have, the ones that make you look fat.
They're amazingly comfortable. I've never worn more comfortable.
They are very comfortable.
They'll slim you down. You'll want to wear them more than one day, but get a couple pairs because that's not sanitary. MeUndies is a great offer right now, guys, for Hard Factor listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you can get 15% off and free shipping. This is a no-brainer because it's a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So get this fucking underwear. We need you to get the underwear, and it's actually good. So
it's amazing.
To get your 15% off, all you got to do is go to MeUndies.com/factor, F-A-C-T-O-R. That's MeUndies.com/factor. Throw some undies in your digital cart. Check them out. Get your free shipping. Get your 15% off. Your lady or man will thank you.
These things are so good that even though they send us samples, I'm going to use our code to buy a lot more.
Yeah, I want one for every day of the week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Am I up?
Yeah, I think
you're up, William.
Oh, my goodness. Pat, we're finally getting to what you were talking about earlier, and that is that the weed business is booming, fellas. Clarification from last night, and shout out to listener Fisher on Twitter. Apparently, liquor stores in Texas are planned to be essential. So good news for you fellas. You should not be worried when you do go into that state of shelter in place. You should be able to make runs to your local liquor store as much as you need.
Nice. And for the most part, Will, from my research, that's the case for the most part.
I mean, it would be fucked up. I mean, imagine
Big Ounce just said that fucking Chicago was not essential. That can't be correct, right? Like the liquor.
I mean, how about somebody who's got a physical dependency? I mean, I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I have a physical dependency, but it's going to be hard for me to get through 2 months without vodka. Like that's
right for anybody. But I'm saying, especially for people who may actually really need it daily. Anyways. That's a clarification, pretty much like Pat said, everywhere, but especially in Texas. It sounds like you guys will be safe. Now, on to the wacky tobacco. As we reported last week in my state of residence, Nevada, cannabis shops have been considered essential businesses, like they should be everywhere during the coronavirus restrictions, and allowed to remain open. Now, this week, we'll take a look at the unanimously positive benefits of this decision that's been made here in Nevada, as well as other states. So in California, where it's, of course, considered essential, it is everywhere except for that mayor in Denver when he accidentally said it wasn't. California, at least on the West Coast, 94% of California dispensaries have reported an increase in business since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, and that makes sense. There's not much to do besides get stoned and watch movies right now, maybe play video games, work out, eat food, have sex, all activities that are more fun while you're high.
Win.
Right.
Like,
yeah, so 94% of Californians are enjoying their lives. Go figure.
Right. All you need is a few pairs of MeUndies, some weed, and a little bit of booze, and you're set. It's a pretty affordable, fun time.
Right. Yeah, so take it from them. They've been sheltering in place the longest. They're doing it the best. They're getting high and chilling out. Colorado up next, where Pat was saying the Denver mayor made the flub. Here is a quote from a Denver dispensary CEO. He says, quote, "Our numbers are significantly higher than they would normally be this time of year," unquote. That was from Medicine Man Dispensary in Denver with over 90 employees. So good thing that guy realized he's an idiot and reversed his essential thing because they need to stay open.
Yeah, I think that Medicine Man quote came out before the official shelter-in-place deal came out.
Really? So they were already packed, and then they got more packed because of the Denver mayor making a big boo-boo. Well, that's not good. In Washington State, Uncle Ike's owner, Ian Eisenberg, says, quote, "Inside, we're making people stand 6 feet apart, and I think we only have, depending on which store it is, a handful of people in the stores at a time, versus 20 or 50 before," unquote. And again, in Washington State, even though they're under a state of, they have the National Guard deployed, business is up. So,
and we do that with our 6-foot Big Ike joint.
no, what they do, I was at a store last week that does it. They basically just line you up. They have markings on the floor.
Yep.
You can't get closer than the marking from the person in front of you. Basically wait at the spots, and then you get to the counter. They give you your bag.
Yeah, Mark, if you go to the 7-Eleven by your house, I went there today. They have little boxes on the floor there now. You have to stand on.
Damn.
Yeah.
I haven't been out of the house in like 5 days.
Well, it's good for you.
That's good for businesses that you're going to be in and out of, but businesses you're going to be spending a lot more time in. I feel like maybe this could be like a really great opportunity for like human bumper cars, like a gigantic inner tube that went around you to make sure that you didn't get within 6. It wouldn't actually. This could be bad for merchandise.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be allowed to have more than 10 people in the same room at the same time.
Let me retool that. Guys.
You'll have to fiddle with that one.
Sumo suits.
Yeah, maybe so. I didn't see much about the situations in Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, or the other legal states, but with the gaming industry shut down in Nevada, I can say,
Willie, Massachusetts is good to go.
Massachusetts are good. Good. Well, good for them.
As is Nevada.
They're going to reap the benefits. Right, of course. But what I was going to say is that in states like Nevada, where the gaming and hospitality industries are going to be shut down temporarily, and it's going to be a huge blow to the state, I can definitely say that the 18% luxury tax that the state is vacuuming in on all the weed sales currently and the future weed sales once everybody gets their stimulus checks may be the thing that saves this state and others like it from being hit as hard from this economic downturn compared to previous ones that would have hit the state a lot harder.
That's a great point, Will. Weed's definitely going to help out a lot because between the casinos and like the weddings, which aren't allowed to happen anymore, that's a big portion of Nevada's income there.
Right. So the government is still collecting money on an essential service that didn't exist before, at least last time they got rocked by a financial crash in 2008.
I really want everyone to take a long, hard look at what we did when
this
is in our hindsight. We should probably take a look at it. The essentialness and the money that came in. I
recommend getting high first, but on the converse, Will, right here in Austin, Texas, there's some really good people, specifically John Reedy, who's gone to bat to get the hotel tax given to artists and music programming and infrastructure that supports and states that don't have the marijuana, but then also depend on that luxury tax, are getting crushed.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's a bad one. At least when you have the marijuana, the people who are going to be impacted by that, they can either work there or they're going to spend stimulus money there, whatever kind of money is being pumped in from the government, and then at least the local government can get a piece of some of it. So
get high and watch the entire season of Tiger King, and that's one day that is better than any other day you would have not in quarantine.
Oh, I'm on my second viewing of Tiger King.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre soap opera that really happened.
And we'll keep trying to throw those days out there, but there are days you can have that are just phenomenal.
And I'm restarting it. I'll admit it was too boring for me. I stopped the first episode before the end. I hear there's a haymaker coming at the end of the first episode.
Oh, bro, I got stoned the other day and went in Disney Plus and started watching Blank Check. You remember that movie?
Of course.
I've rewatched Blank Check.
Bro.
Is Blank Check on Netflix?
Disney Plus, but it is magnificent.
So is Richie Rich, too.
Yeah.
Richie Rich is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes.
You done that? All right, guys. Have you been winning any sports bets lately?
No,
right?
There's no sports.
Nothing to bet on, right? Wrong. You can totally bet on the news and get a free $20 to do so by going to our promo URL, www.predicted.org/promo/hardfactor20, creating an account in a matter of a few minutes and depositing at least $20. You're going to get free $20, no strings attached, no rollover or minimum amount bets required. Predicted's awesome, guys. We've been personally using it for almost a year now. I just quadrupled up on a market for how many tweets will the @White House have this week. I bet no on the highest band, which was 230 or more. After their first day, they did 70 tweets, like on, I want to say Friday. And I was like, because it got down to like, it was like 80 cents yes on 230 or more. And I was like, they still have to do 160, and the weekend's coming up, and it's all bad news. So I think they're going to slow down. Guess what? They did. They're like not going to hit 230. I actually sold for like 90 cents. I profited $200 there, quadrupled up. Nice. If you want to win some money and entertain yourself during quarantine, all you need to do is go to www.predicted.org/promo/hardfactor20, create an account and deposit at least $20 to get that free 20 on us. By the way, it's completely legal in all 50 states. I use my debit card and checking account to deposit and withdraw with ease. For me, it's like a mini stimulus package, but bet responsibly. DM me if you have any questions.
Man, last night I was going to ask who was about to step up and start betting those tweet markets now that sports are gone, and we found our answer.
I'm in that same market this week, Mark. I'm in that same market. I'm in White House tweets right now. Hey, Mark, you brought up a really good point. On the front end of the market, specifically with tweet markets, because the markets usually last 7 days or 5 days.
Like people react so
on the
quickly.
Front end, you want to buy no, and on the back end, you want to buy yes. You can make money on no on the front end. You can make money on yes on the back end.
Yeah, I got.
Point, yeah.
I didn't do too good on Donald's tweets this week. I just didn't do well.
You just have to pay attention. That's the hard part about those. You got to pay.
You bet
attention.
what you thought was wrong, sold it for a loss, bought the wrong market, and then you were right the first time, right? Probably. That's what I'm guessing.
No. I paid attention to pie count a little too closely, and was like when they do the projected, and it was really low, and I didn't think about who I was dealing with.
You're a pace guy.
Yeah,
that's what they call you. A pace. You're a pace cuck. They call you a pace cuck.
You can't ever do that. You have to think about the activities that are coming up and the schedule.
Didn't do that.
Yeah,
didn't do that. Yeah. All right, guys. Hang on. I gotta go on location for this next one. So check out the YouTube for a little gag that might be enjoyable. So, guys, even though we fucking told everyone already that toilet paper supply chain is fine and you don't need to hoard the shit, people don't want to seem to listen. They are still hoarding it, wasting their money when they could be spending on stuff that really matters, like booze, weed, and food, which we've been talking about. And that panic buying has forced some stores like Walmart to beef up their security and even add special security to the toilet paper aisles specifically, as you can see behind me. Kroger, Stop and Shop, ShopRite, and Walmart are among a few stores doing this. And I actually drove by, like I said, the local HEB already, and they were letting people in club style. One goes out, another goes in. But that is until everyone stands in one long line at the registers like fucking dominoes, passing the Corona to one another. Some states like Ohio are seeing a cop being put at every grocery store to maintain the peace, as well as hospitals, and especially during elderly.
You'll see that more and more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially during elderly shopping hours in the morning to make sure the scum of the earth don't prey on them. And I'm officially getting a gun. Got the okay from the girlfriend today to go ahead and do it. So DM me your favorite firearm under $400.
You had to check in, huh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got a child.
You don't want to surprise her with a handgun.
I got a child. I got a child in the house too. So
Hey, honey, is it okay if I take matters into my own hands and protect you? Is that okay?
She said yes, and you were like, good. You just show her you already had bought it.
He pulls it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Hey, Wes,
He's named it.
Are
We're
you
good.
You gonna get a concealed license, Wes?
I don't think I'm gonna bring it with me anywhere. I'm just gonna tuck it somewhere high on a shelf.
Home defense.
Defend the house.
Well,
baby.
Wes, this isn't a big deal for you anymore because you're off the sauce, but the concealed license in Texas can create a huge problem because if you get, so .08, right, you can have
If
a
you're
couple,
drinking and carrying, yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, no.
you can have a couple beers and drive, even if you're not carrying. From what I understand, you can't blow anything. You can't
I'm right
blow a
behind you.
.06.
I'm right behind you on the gun, Wes. I've
think you have to
been
be
throwing
careful.
knives. I've been practicing throwing knives.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
those are fun. Also, the hatchets, the hatchet throwing, that's fun too. I think the hatchet could do a little bit more damage to somebody like down a hallway.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking hatchet over knife if I'm throwing
Well,
something.
I should go get a hatchet because I've done the axe throwing like 3 times, and I'm
You're
pretty
accurate, right?
I'm pretty
That's
good.
all you need.
Yeah.
You don't.
I
you're
have
good.
an
You're good
extra
with the
hatchet.
hatchets.
I have an extra
You do?
hatchet, Mark.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah. I
Is
could,
it
I
a
could
throwing hatchet though? Because it's got to be a throwing hatchet.
At a minimum, someone's losing a clavicle and bleeding out. Like if I don't hit you in the head, you're
I
getting it right in
found
the
this
shoulder.
hatchet, Will, to answer your question, and when I found it, it had blood on it. So
Well,
hopefully that
probably
answers your
not a
question.
throwing.
That's
well,
like a gun that's been involved in a murder. I don't want a DNA'd murder hatchet.
I
or a
washed
new
it.
hatchet.
I washed it.
Okay. Did you bleach it? Never mind.
You can order a set of like 3 off Amazon for like $30. So
3 guns?
Then no, three
Three
throwing
throwing
hatchets.
hatchets.
'Cause you're gonna need
Yeah.
more than one round.
Right.
Oh, for sure. The first one
First
disables
one's
them.
nerves. You're just gonna
Yeah.
miss them on nerves, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna need to hit them with the second one, and then the third one you're gonna go in with it
Yeah.
for real.
If you don't have more than one and you miss with the first one, you've just given this guy a
Give
hatchet.
him a weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have no weapon.
You're right.
Right.
Now I'm remembering Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and that's exactly how it works.
Triple. You got to have 3 throwing.
Wes, by the
hatchets.
way, I have a Sig Sauer if you want to be matchies.
Oh yeah. How much was that?
It's a fine firearm.
That's the 6 hours way out of your price range.
Yeah, I'm looking
You-
at like
you want-
$400. I'm looking at like a what are the
You're
Tog
like
or
a Taurus or something.
Taurus, yeah.
I want one that's going to backfire in my hands.
yeah.
I don't know anything about the Taurus, but let me recommend against it. Anything called Taurus in any industry is not. It's not where you want to
The
be.
Ford Taurus was the best-selling car of all time, best-selling American car of all time.
Yeah,
for a while.
but how much cock blocking did it do in its history?
well, it was the first car I ever drove. Owned.
What was that souped up Taurus called? Remember that?
A Mustang.
No.
The
forget.
Crown Vic.
No, I'll think of it. Anyway, DM me your favorite firearm under $400, please. Again, you
This
don't
is
need.
amazing. I want to. Can you document the whole firearm purchasing process?
Yeah,
please?
I think I could do
You
that.
should blog
Oh
that.
yes.
How sad is it going to be if Wes gets denied?
He's not gonna get denied. He's got a clean
I
background.
got a squeaky clean record ever since college. Again, you don't need the hoard toilet paper, and I heard during news briefing that anyone that's trying to swindle and take advantage of the situation is going to be met with Bill Barr at their fucking doorstep. So just buy what you need and move on. Honestly, the store's fault for just allowing these people to do this in the first place. But yeah, it's just stop hoarding the toilet paper, people. It's going to be fine.
Stop it.
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, do you not have a hose or a shower? If it gets down to it, I will, gladly have my wife wash my asshole and vice versa with a hose. Like, you have a washcloth. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're making masks out of toilet paper, it's really not
Yeah,
essential.
or
guys.
order a
Like,
Bid-It off Amazon.
Yeah, bid it.
Yeah, bid it works.
Yeah, Bid-Its are good.
Come on, like what? Attachable faucet, like shower head,
Mark,
like
you've
attachable.
really got me thinking about these throwing hatchets.
Right?
I've already got guns, but I'm thinking about expanding the arsenal. Toss a couple
Right?
throwing hatchets in
You
there.
want to film? You want to film? You want to do a Zoom where we're throwing accurate hatchets and to scare people off?
Well, it could be a good activity. I might build a little hatchet throwing deal in the yard.
Well, Will, your birthday is T-minus 2 months away, so maybe I don't know.
That'll be what I build. I'll build a hatchet throwing thing for myself for my birthday.
Well, maybe what I'm saying is maybe some of your co-hosts might chip in and get you a nice hatchet set. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Ooh, that's
no.
No,
yeah,
Mark says
probably
no.
not. I'm just
Not
gonna
right
order
now.
them. You guys don't got to get me anything. I'll just get my own shit.
Not until the stimulus
especially
package.
if I'm not getting a fucking stimulus check, which I hope everyone else does. But if I'm not getting one,
right,
fuck
yeah,
off.
it's looking bad for a lot of us here. So
I'm going to sign Mark's name on the card. All right, guys, in some good Corona news, Yale, the university, they're trying to curb people's desires to completely shut down, get fat, and die by offering their very popular happiness course free of charge during the pandemic. So that's great, right? The curriculum, which was previously offered only to uber elite, wealthy Ivy Leaguers, had to be slightly adjusted, however. Previously, students enrolled in Yale's happiness course would receive a mirror upon enrollment, which they would be required to stare into for 3 hours a week and reflect on their wealth, good genes, and position in society. And that exercise pretty much made up the bulk of the coursework.
Really?
Yeah, but now that they're letting normies in, they're actually having to teach some stuff.
wouldn't that just make you more narcissistic?
Yeah, and happy. Will, if you got everything, all you got to do is just look around and appreciate it. That's what I say.
Just gonna stare at my perfect self in the mirror for 3 hours.
You get an A. The course is actually called The Science of Well-Being, and according to the Yale Daily News, anyone can audit the course for free. And if you pay $49, you can complete assignments and then submit them for a grade, which will no doubt most certainly be less than a B-, no matter how well you do. But really, like, you know, if you pay $50, you can do extra work.
Huh.
Come on.
Wait. So, what's the point of the class?
Learn about fucking happiness. Well, I don't know.
But how does looking at yourself in the mirror teach you?
Will,
that?
that's not actually the fucking thing. I was a joke about how rich Yale people are and why do they need a class about happiness if they're going to Yale. That was my joke.
Oh, so it's actually a class about happiness.
It's actually a class about happiness.
You don't get an A if you're good looking.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's actually a class about happiness. They're not
It's
actually
actually
issuing
helpful.
a
I was
mirror
confused.
for
That's
3
actually
hours.
helpful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I was unclear.
That story gave me a C in happiness.
Oh, well. Anyway, what Hard
Maybe a C
Factor's
minus.
doing to increase happiness is we're going to be doing. I don't know if they'll be daily, but starting tomorrow, we're going to do a live stream where the four of us are going to be playing a board game online that you can tune in and watch. And we might be doing some fan interaction, some viewer interaction. So stay tuned. It'll be on the Twitters tomorrow. If you don't follow us, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Wes, at Hard Factor Will, Barstool News Network, and Hard Factor News. Follow those accounts if you want to see when we're going live and which game we're playing.
Yeah, and
Everyone gets an A in happiness.
you'll hear the exact thing in the same thing in the closing in about 10 minutes too.
Nice.
Saved
Just a
little time, buddy.
reminder.
Saved a little time.
By the way, those are going to be vulgar. We might get kicked off just playing board games. So.
Nah. Well, I mean, we got to figure out how to not get. Eventually we'll have a stream that'll be replayable.
By the way, yeah, we didn't really explain
practice.
this. We explained it a little bit, but yeah, sorry if our stream was gone from Friday night. We're trying to get it back up, but YouTube
Too
banned
hot
us.
for TV. We're
We'll get it. We'll get it.
We're
back
gonna have
up
to
there.
make DVDs like Jerry Springer. Too hot for TV.
Bro, that was
Yeah.
like my first job selling those things. $20 a
know.
pop. Till
Well,
my sister saw the FBI warning and sold me out to my parents.
It's coming back around again, Pat. You're gonna have to huck these torn down YouTube streams.
Huh. Yeah, you will. And that last story about Yale's a bit above average, and nobody wants to be average. Am I right, guys? We all strive to be exceptional. Shouldn't your bank strive to be exceptional for you, considering that you strive to be exceptional? Well,
Yeah.
Wealthfront is the bank that's committed to helping you earn more. Nothing average about that. Nearly 3 times more interest returned on your money in a Wealthfront cash account compared to the FDIC national average. No paperwork. Sign up from your phone. Along with making your money work harder for you, they're also giving away money for 4 lucky people starting March 26th. Wealthfront will give away $25,000 a week for 4 weeks. That's $100,000 total in free money. See how you can qualify for the giveaway by visiting wealthfront.com/factor. Make money management easier and reach your financial goals faster with Wealthfront. Sign up for the Wealthfront cash account now, and you'll be automatically entered to win at wealthfront.com/factor. Go to wealthfront.com/factor and start earning 19 times more interest on all your savings. That's wealthfront.com/factor. Here's the legal requirements and guidelines. Wealthfront is not a bank. Cash account is offered by Wealthfront Brokerage, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Wealthfront conveys funds to partner banks who accept and maintain deposits, provide the interest rate, and provide FDIC insurance. The APY is subject to change. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. See official rules at wealthfront.com/factor.
Yeah, Wealthfront is getting 4 people through the pandemic. I've run the numbers, and $25,000 of unexpected free money is the exact amount you need to survive.
Yeah, it's 25 stimulus checks. That's a lot. Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's nice. Yeah, so there you go.
All right, guys, during this pandemic and all the shelter in place and quarantine and such, me living on the outskirts of a relatively big city, I can't help but think, boy, it would be nice to just pack up and be on an island right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie's videos are, you see him getting the spiny lobster. He's getting the spiny lobster. He's doing all the snorkeling.
Donnie's videos are infuriating. He was just in China like 6 months ago, and now he's on a fucking island. I don't understand it. Yeah,
thanks for living life for the rest of us, man.
That's some Illuminati shit. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Donnie gave a hand job to someone that he didn't
Donnie
want
knows
to.
something we don't. If I just had made better financial decisions in the past 10 years and not accrued 5 cats, maybe. But I can't do it. I'm not the only person, though, thinking like this. In fact, a lot of people are acting on that thought like Donnie. This has become a particularly controversial subject in Scotland, where a ton of people are just packing up in RVs and vans and heading to the high.
It better as Scotland.
It's like the toilet paper. They're just packing up in RVs and heading to the Highland Islands. So the people that live in the Highland Islands are not too happy with the people that are coming onto their territory.
Oh, you don't say.
Scotland's Rural Economy and Tourism Secretary Fergus Ewing had this to say on the Scottish government website. I am furious at the reckless and irresponsible behavior of some people traveling to the highlands and islands. This has to stop now. Let me be crystal clear. People should not travel to rural and island communities. Full stop. They are endangering lives. Do not travel.
Well,
right?
I guess he's saying, so basically he's like, Donnie, don't do what Donnie Bahamas did.
Mm-hmm. Well,
don't leave China and then go to an island nation.
Definitely leave China. The first part, yes. But, Mark, this is frustrating because if you live on an island, you did that because you saw the apocalypse coming a long time ago.
And now all these fucking apocalypse cucks are coming to your island.
Bro,
like,
Johnny come lately apocalypse
Johnny come
dick
latelys,
suckers who are like, oh, no, there must be room on the island. It's like, no, dog.
And they have no apocalypse skills. They're like asking you the basics of apocalypse survival.
If you live on an island that has like less than 1,000 inhabitants, you have apocalypse skills. So I feel like that the people on those islands should kind of have the rights to just kind of beat the crap out of the people coming to the islands.
That's what they're warning, Will, in Scotland.
This is like the varsity blues admissions scandal, where it's like you work real hard all 4 years of high school to get into college, and you turn around and Olivia Jade's just fucking crewing her way in there with a coxswain, and she didn't do anything to earn it. She's just trying to live that life.
Yeah. You've got 10 years worth of water and 300 chickens you've been saving up, and then all of a sudden...
It's like me and science projects.
Some guy that rented an RV. So Angus MacNeil, a politician who lives on the island of Barra, part of the Outer Hebrides off Scotland's west coast, is also not happy with the increase of outsiders. He posted an image on Twitter of Castle Bay Village Hall with their setup of very basic hospital beds with no medical equipment. It looks like a hospital from like the 1500s. And he mentioned in the caption that they had no ventilators on the island. So please don't come here and get us sick because we can't fucking save people's lives here. We live on a goddamn island.
That's a good point there.
Yeah. So, Barra and another nearby island officially closed and said, we will open again and be delighted to see you, stupid tourists. But in the meantime, we're looking after our community, the thing that makes us so special.
Yeah,
so just
that keeps us alive.
Right. So like lots of the areas of the Highlands are just pissed and just shutting their doors completely. Don't expect the locals to open up shops and like cook you a meal of beans or whatever.
Well, what a selfish prick, Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go from this area that's like super infected, and I don't know if I'm infected or not, but I'm going to go on a nice vacation to this other area that's got no infections right now. Huh, honey? Does that sound good?
Yeah, you could probably kill them with the common cold over there.
I would do it if I didn't have the cats. Caledonian McBrain,
you
who was
just drive your Mazda right up there to the islands. You just pack up all your gear.
I would have got on one of the last planes to Mexico and just stayed on an island for like 3 months.
If you have the money, I guess. Like,
yeah.
I just mean you need stuff to get out there. You need like a vehicle. You need like camping.
Do
gear.
you? No. Yeah, camping gear.
You need like a gypsy van.
Yeah, that's why all these people with RVs are out there. Caledonian McBrain, who's a ferryman, awesome job, said, "From now on, ferries will be for those who live on our islands, who have an essential need to travel to or from the mainland, and for essential supplies or business only. Nothing else. The return of non-residents from islands back to the mainland will also be deemed essential travel, a.k.a. we're sending your fucking asses back as soon as we can."
Yeah.
Apparently, similar shit's going on in Norway, where Prime Minister Erna Solberg said, hey, everyone that just packed up and headed to their second home, their cabin in the woods, or people that are just heading up to the cabins up in the mountains and woods there, go the fuck back home, because no authority or medical staff will assist you when you need it up in the fucking mountains of Norway that have 7 feet of snow right now. Just go home.
Yeah, this is. Do you guys remember that island in Virginia, Tangier Island, which is like in the Chesapeake Bay, and there's like maybe like 4 families on it total. It's like totally isolated.
yeah.
Right, like imagine Tangier, right, where it's like you already have the fucking protection against corona, and then fucking some dude shows up at the shores of your island, being like, "Give me shelter."
Yeah.
I would shoot him dead.
You got the right to
That's what I'm
capsize
saying,
their
Pat.
boat when
Pat,
they
you would
show
not
up.
only shoot them dead, but if you're out there, you're probably a cannibal. You'd probably eat them. But everyone in Norway thinks they're the Unabomber now. So no word yet on the Bahamas, how they feel about Donnie out there. But we can probably ask.
I know he's been getting a lot of shit, and I know that he also went out there before the lockdowns occurred. So, I mean, he kind of got grandfathered.
He also doesn't have a
in.
home, though. His home was like,
he
shut
was stuck
down.
in New York.
He has nowhere to go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But don't go to Scotland, Donnie.
No. If he tries to show up to one of those Scottish islands, I'll definitely be upset.
All right, guys, we got to get to some voicemails and some 5-star reviews. Do I have to unplug my headphones for this shit to work?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna have to play it through your.
Hang on 1 second. Then.
We're an hour and 7 minutes in. Didn't think of this?
Here we go. First voicemail, only voicemail.
Hey boys, it's Mike James. Third up to bat for the good morning in case Will can't ever hack it.
Nice.
And
Thanks, Mike.
I have a suggestion. I love the idea of giving out this number to guys or girls if you not really interested in talking to them anymore and want to ghost them. However, I recommend changing the voicemail message because it's a little off-putting and might scare some people off from actually leaving a voicemail. So maybe if you
good
have
point.
an email friend that could just make a general and vague, hey, can't get to the phone, leave a message or something, or even just put the beep in. I would love to hear some ghost voicemails from disgruntled lovers on this show. I think that would just add the flavor. Got a lockdown turn up shirt, so thank you for that. Love supporting the Meals on Wheels, and you guys stay safe.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, that's a good point. I was proud of that voicemail because I just bought a new bong at the time, and I was doing a lot of bong rips, so I was excited about doing the bong rips in the microphone for the voicemail. But he brings a strong point. We need to change it.
Yeah, but my concern is we'd have to just go no setup, because if you had a dude's voice, and that's going to eliminate girls.
Yeah, we got to do automated.
Yeah.
Why don't we cut together like the Macho Man saying something?
But
Nah,
wouldn't that
be-
set people off? Wouldn't that
Yeah,
like
you got to do automated. You got to do like, you've reached 512-270-1480.
What if we go more aggressive?
that's true.
What if we go even more aggressive?
No, I mean at this point, it's either a dude's email or voicemail or
Who's giving out fake
business.
numbers most? Chicks are, right? So
Yeah,
there probably would need to
chick.
be a chick's voice to get the best results. So maybe
true.
like Kate Barstool. Of course, Kate could do it. She likes to fuck with dudes online and shit a lot. So
Yeah, we have wives
we'll
too.
figure it out.
We
Yeah,
got our
figure
wives
it
to do
out.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll that's a good idea. We'll definitely do it. And here's a review from Against the Griff, the fattest of the Barstool podcast. We didn't read this one, right?
Ooh.
These are some big boys who shoot it straight to you. Great way to start the morning in the car. Not the first people you want to see when you wake up. Very true. Fair. We do have faces for radio.
unless you like cuddling, then we're definitely the guys you want to see when you wake up.
Yeah,
Because
unless
we
you
will
like
cuddle. We will cuddle the
omelets.
shit out of you.
Well, it's good news. It's good news for this person because it's likely that one day we'll just be putting our videos live at night and then doing in the pod in the morning. So, one day you would only get to watch us at night. Hopefully.
Yeah.
What? This is the last thing you'll see before you go to sleep.
And the next one, which Pat touched on earlier from TPG Tyler, Tiger King. You guys need to watch and review Tiger King on Netflix. This is the coronavirus Florida Man Friday that the Hive needs. And we will be doing that.
Yeah.
We're all going to have it finished by Florida Man Friday recording, so we will do a review for you. So
Yeah, spoiler alert for the asshole that keeps leaving a 1-star because he thinks Will spoiled Parasite, which he didn't.
No, I know. I
that
actually
guy
listened.
can fuck right off. And
I also
spoiler
listened-
alert, we're going to talk about Tiger King.
Listen back to that. I don't think I did spoil.
No, you didn't
Parasite.
spoil it. He just thinks you did because he didn't watch it. He's an idiot.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure to watch it before then to make it enjoyable for yourself. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. We're going to ramp up the content, as Pat said, including some challenges you can try, some online games we'll be playing together, another live stream. This time, hopefully, we won't get kicked off. Blah blah blah. Voicemails. Remember, we love them. 512-270-1480. We want to play at least one a day. Keep those 5-star reviews coming. They don't have to be nice, but they have to be 5 stars. We saw some of you. What's that?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 5 stars. We'll read it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
could
will.
also write 5 stars. You spoiled Parasite for me, and then we can address
fine.
it.
Right? Yeah. If you want to say something, if you want us to break up with a partner for you, we're happy to do that. You just leave that 5-star review with the text that you want, and then you just play that pod for the partner. Ipso facto, one less thing on your list.
Risky move during a quarantine, but yeah, of course.
Right. 5 stars reviews could be requests for things.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a good
true.
point, Pat.
We could do like a live if we got deep enough. We could do a live break or recorded breakup, but that'd be really fucking mean. Anyway,
That's a
we
class.
saw-
That's a classic.
What,
shock
you would
jock
call
thing to do.
their significant other into the Zoom and be like, "Hey, we're here to break up with you on behalf."
Oh, we wouldn't say that. It would just happen.
Got this 5-star review you're going to want to hear.
Yeah. Mike's here. He's got something to say to you.
Yes, you go first on that.
Yeah. We saw some of you suggesting the podcast on Twitter. We love that. Please share it with everyone who needs to know what is going on in the world and looking for some comic relief and new content. Buy the shirt. Meals on Wheels needs you. Follow us on Twitter, Insta. Wash your goddamn hands. And most importantly, have a great fucking day.